And getting on to the finals now, I met up with some Buddhist people there, and I actually had a little ceremony for my mum because she was killed 10 years ago riding a bicycle at the age of 85. And so I said, look, would you like to do a little ceremony for me? Just sort of thinking of her, and that's what we did, and it's beautiful. Now this is the family of a friend of mine who lives in Melbourne now, a Nepalese guy, and so I met up with him. And they looked after me whilst I was down with food poisoning for about 2 weeks. But whatever food they tried to put into me, apart from the fact it was Nepalese and I don't go very well with it, it was not very comfortable. But lovely people, and they gave me a great send-off.
What were the flowers?
I can't remember the names, I'm afraid. But they're very popular, used for the song and colours, the oranges. And they loved the fact that there was a European there in their village. This man was the principal of the primary school, so there's a great esteem for him to have a European visiting there. And there's no other tourists in this area at all. It's just off the beaten road.
So what's the red spot on your fingers?
That's something to do with the religious thing, the Hindu thing. I'm not quite sure the significance of it. It's spiritual significance. And there we are, and I'll go back there, and that's it. That is the conclusion of my things, I think. Let me just tell you generally, I've come to this understanding now the here and now is important. I was a Christian for very much of my life, but I've looked also at the other spiritual practices and trends in the world, and that's why I looked on the Buddhist side of things there, at the here and now as being most important. What we do with this moment in this world that we've got the chance to use, and that's where I'm at the moment. I've done quite a lot of men's group work, along with Rowan and with Tony, especially here in Tasmania, helping us to gain more communication between each other, amongst other things. Men and women, we need to learn to communicate, especially the younger people, and the older people with the young people, because we can get to understand each other by sharing feelings, not just intellectual stuff, but sharing feelings and understanding where each of us is coming from. I think that's a big step forward. We need courage. We have to overcome doubts, all of us, in one way or another. And that again is part of men's group work, to share stuff so we can learn to deal with doubt and gain that courage. And my personal feeling is that the world at the moment is full of selfishness, and that shows up in many forms like greed, just not caring what the next person needs. It's all to do with me. I hear a lot of moralising by different groups about abortion and all that type of thing, but I very rarely hear people writing in papers and talking about working towards responsibility along with rights, learning to think of the next person's needs as well as my own. And I think if we can work along those lines, it helps a lot. So if anyone here has any questions, anyone like to speak to me about the men's group work, or any questions you have from the talk I've given, please feel free.
I have one. What sort of battery did you use in your electrical system?
It was a 100 amp hour. It was, I can't remember the name of it for you. I'll think of it later. But it's made in China. Surprise, surprise. But it cost me about $300 each battery. I just replaced that one with two now, so I've got a bit more power there. It wouldn't give you a lot of power. It's enough for me to run my computer, my TV, bit of lighting at night time. That's all I need. And if that runs out, I run the generator. But yes, I have a generator to back up, so I juggle my needs. If you're a family, if you have kids or something like that around, you'd have to provide yourself more facility, but it works. Certainly, I'll try and find some more information for you on that.
Yeah, my husband would like a solar electricity, but he doesn't want to be into the grid.
Right, yeah.
So,
Just stand alone.
yeah.
That's a lot easier to deal with than the grid, because you've got to get all the professionals in to do the grid work.
Yeah. Permission.
That's right, yeah. There is a common assumption that if you're dealing with 12 volts, it's low voltage, it's not dangerous. But if you wire up 12 volts carelessly, you can burn your house down very easily. So it's got to be done properly in a way you know what you're doing.
On behalf of Rural Health and the CHILLOUT Group, we'd like to thank you very much for your time today.
You're welcome.
Insights into your
Great.
experiences.